reçu le prédécesseur de M. Wang, M. Yang, et nous continuons de multiplier les relations en tout genre. Donc, c'est dire, Monsieur le Ministre, que c'est un grand plaisir, un grand honneur aussi de vous avoir. Et comme le temps est limité, je vous passe tout de suite la parole.
Mr. Wang, since we have limited time, I'd like to give the floor to you.
Okay. 非常高兴这次访问法国期间有机会同国际关系研究院
It's a great pleasure
各位朋友和嘉宾们
for me to have such a chance to meet friends from IFRI during my visit to France. It's a very good occasion to start our offline communication. I totally agree with the president of IFRI for the short opening remarks. China and France,
It's okay?
we are
It's okay? Now it's working? No? It's working. Why? Didn't check. How about now? No, it's okay. No, it's okay. You can hear me? 可以了吗？我现在说中文。可以了哈。非常抱歉。那么我们重启线下交流总会。
sorry for this technical problem. So once picking up our offline activities, we can sometimes find some technical problems.
Yes， 我们一定要把我们的水师补回来。Now it's okay。我赞成刚才院长的简短的开场。
I totally agree with that short opening remarks by the president of IFRI. I also believe that China and France are representatives of the civilization from the Eastern and Western world respectively. We have to appreciate each other, respect each other. And through our communication, we could enhance our mutual understanding and thus establishing a mutual trust. As is mentioned by His Excellency the President of IFRI, the mutual trust should be the foundation of the future bilateral relations. Together with all the friends of all circles of France, we'd like to work together. And in the 21st century, I believe that China and France should work together and join hands to protect the justice and fairness in the whole world. We two countries are with international influences. We could contribute to the development and progress of mankind. Over the past 6 months, the COVID-19 pandemic has caught everyone by surprise and is spread across the world. In China, in France, and in Europe, we are helping each other. For China, under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, we have successfully controlled the spread of the epidemic. And in Europe, we have also witnessed the coordination by EU and also hard efforts made by the European countries and leaders, and they have also eased the tension. I believe that the pandemic of this time is a mirror that can reflect the landscape that is quite complicated in the international arena. European countries and China are sailing over the ties together, but there's also some other opposite forces. What is more fearful than the COVID-19 is that force that is using the COVID-19 as a tool of politicization and stigmatization that will not only harm their own people, but also make damage to the international relations. Here, I'd like to talk about China-France relations, China-EU relations together with you, so that friends of European countries and friends of France could understand China better. Like Europe, China is also one of the most ancient civilizations and the most respected. 1 year ago, I was here in Paris for a cultural exchanges conference, and I have also participated in the opening ceremony of the filming activity. Diderot, Voltaire, and the other literals and famous persons from France have highly appreciated the civilization of China hundreds of years ago. But later, very sad, during a certain period of history, China has fallen down in its international impact, and China has closed the country for a certain period of time. As is mentioned by President Xi, the rising of the Chinese civilization and the Chinese nation is a shared dream by all the people. Only people that have already witnessed and experienced ups and downs in the history can learn how to cherish peace and development. Today, we would like to achieve the well-being for the people, and we would like to resume our past glory, and we would like to strengthen our collaboration and communication with the rest of the world. Some people say that the reinvigoration of the country actually is only an excuse for the hegemony by China, because China wants to occupy the whole world. However, I can never agree with that point. For a very long period of time in history, China was the most powerful country in the world, but China has never sought the external expansion or to be the number one of the world. I'd like to take the example of Zheng He, the navigator from the Ming Dynasty. By then, Mr. Zheng He has led the fleets to visit 30 and more countries in Asia and Africa. During the 7 trips made by Mr. Zheng, he has helped to spread the Chinese culture and our appreciation for peace. Harmony and peace remain the keywords in our civilization and philosophy. We always uphold the righteousness, and fairness. The pursuit of peace and development is very well embedded in our thought. And that is also the origin of this call for the building of a community for a shared future for mankind. Today's China is further developing its traditional civilization and culture. Under the strong leadership of the CPC, Chinese people are making hard efforts despite all the challenges along the road. Today, we have already found a road to successful reinvigoration of the country with Chinese characteristics. That is a socialist path with Chinese characteristics. And it's fully appreciated and welcomed by the Chinese people. After more than 70 years of establishment of the People's Republic of China and more than 4 decades of reform and opening up, we have already made a lot of achievements. For example, China has made great strides forward, improved our national strength. From a very poor and weak country, we have developed into the second largest economy in the world. From a country lack of materials, we have become a country with a complete industrial system. From a semi-enclosed and semi-colonized country, China has become one of the 5 permanent member states of the Security Council of the UN. We have improved the livelihood of the people in the country. Over the past 7 decades, we have helped 850 million people out of poverty. The average longevity of the people has been expanded from 35 to more than 70 years old. Many people have quitted poverty status and they have improved their livelihood. We have the largest education system in the world and the largest system for social security, as well as the largest system for medical care and for the grassroots election. Last year, a publication by a company of Boston showed that China has moved up the ladder by 25 places in the general national strength, and China has made the fastest progress across the whole world. This year, we're about to complete the task of building a moderately prosperous society under strong leadership of the CPC, and we will get all of the Chinese people out of poverty. It's the first time in history that the whole country is out of extreme poverty, and we have achieved the SDG, one of the SDGs for poverty reduction 10 years earlier than the schedule by UN. Next year, we're about to celebrate 100th anniversary of the creation of CPC. CPC has considered the assistance to people's well-being as its important mission. Dear friends, development of China is achieved with hard work and efforts of the Chinese people. It's also due to a favorable and peaceful international environment and very active international cooperation. The development China has not only benefited its own people, but also the whole world. China is a contributor to the world peace and development. We are injecting active and positive forces into the world development. After the foundation of the PRC, we have included peace and development into our constitution, and we have promised to contribute to the whole world. Since the foundation of the new China, we have never initiated a war in the whole world. We have participated in international disarmament process, for example, the joining by China into the non-proliferation agreement, and we are the second contributor to the UN and also the second largest country to send peacekeeping forces. We have almost participated in nearly all the settlements of key hotspot issues in the world. China is a defender of the world order, and we are injecting stabilizing elements into the international order. China has almost joined all the universal and general international organizations, more than 500 international conventions, and we are also shouldering our responsibilities. Every year we pay our adherence fees, memberships fees, etc. And we also stick to the international systems based on the UN and international orders based on the international law, and also protect the free trade system with WTO at its core. We always adhere to the protection of the world order, and we are contributing our force to the building up of a gradually open world. China is one of the most open countries in the world. By 2019, the tariff level in average in China dropped to below 7.5. That is lower than the majority of the countries in the world, and that level is quite similar to that of the EU. In the future, that figure would continue to drop. The market access in China is expanding for 2 years in a row consecutively. For the improvement of business environment, we have showcased the best performances among in the whole world. We are the largest trading partners with 130 countries in the world, and we have also welcomed installation of more than 490 companies from the Fortune 500. Last year, President Xi has mentioned that 7 years ago, the President Xi has proposed the initiative of the Belt and Road, and we have signed agreement of collaboration with the road under the framework of Belt and Road Initiative with many countries. The total investment volume is 110 billion US dollars. For the first half of this year, under the impact of COVID-19, China's investment towards Belt and Road countries has registered a 19.4% of yearly increase, and the China-EU Express had sent 5,100 trains, and that express has become an express for hope. In order to guarantee the logistics between China and European countries, as well as China and other Belt and Road countries, that system has played a very important role. China is always a contributor to the world's economic growth, and we are bringing driving engines. Since reform and opening up, China is also one of the fastest growing countries in the world. For more than 1 decade, China's contribution ratio to the world economic growth is more than 30%. China's poverty alleviation has taken up more than 70% of the world's effort. For the 1997 crisis and 2008 world financial crisis, China has played its own role in boosting the world's economic recovery. Facing the world pandemic in the first half of this year, we have launched the largest humanitarian aid in the history of People's Republic of China. We have responded to the call of many countries, to 150 countries and international organizations. We have dispatched first aid, emergency responses, and materials. And also for 180 countries in the world, we have organized seminars during which we have invited experts from our medical system to share with their counterparts effective ways to cure the disease and also some good practices. And also for 31 countries in urgent needs, we have sent 33 expert teams in order to have face-to-face communication with their foreign counterparts. And Chinese doctors are also giving guidance on site. All those stories and examples have showcased that China's development is in accordance with the times and also with interest of the Chinese people. It is not only favorable to China's development, but also to that of the world. Since it's a correct road, then we have to stick to our road. Friends, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought significant negative impact to China's economy. However, China's economy has showcased a strong resilience. For the Q2, we have stopped the downward pressure and registered instead a 3.2% increase. According to IMF forecast, China would be one of the few countries to register a positive economic growth in 2020. 99% of the enterprises, foreign enterprises, have confirmed that they would like to continue to work in China, and 89% of the European enterprises already working in China have made sure that they will not leave China. This is a vote of confidence from the foreign enterprises facing the changing international environment and growing responsibility. China has made it clear that we have to bring into full play our internal potential. We have to launch the internal large circle of the economy and combine the local market with the international market. We have to expand reform and opening up towards the outside world, expand the internal need, share the bonuses of our own development with the rest of the world. And also by boosting China's economy, we could also contribute our part to the world economy. Is it okay? The sound is okay for you?
可以吗？可以的，好好。我们将进一步扩大内需，扩大对外开放，同世界各国。
We'll continue expand the opening up towards the outside world, expand internal need, share the benefits of development with the rest of the world. Through our own development, we will also contribute to the recovery of the world economy. We'll continue to pursue a peaceful development. China is not the ancient Soviet Union, and we will not be the second U.S. in the world. Whatever stage we will reach in the road of development, we will never seek external expansion or hegemony. We would like to adhere to communication and dialogue instead of opposition and conflict. And we would like to establish a wider range of international partnerships. China will continue to pursue an development based on opening up. China will only open even wider in the future. With a lower tariff level in the future, a more convenient market access, a more transparent system of regulations, we're about to present to the whole world a better environment for business so that we could have a multi-layered platform that will bring more chances to the world. China will continue to pursue development through cooperation. China could develop to this stage because China has maintained a good relationship with other countries. We will continue to maintain good relationships with big countries in the world and neighboring countries, and we will continue to remain partners with developing countries in the world. And we believe that cooperation and development will facilitate one another. China will also pursue development through win-win manner. We will never use the method of beggar thy neighbor, and we will never base our interests on the basis of other countries' sacrifices. We never say that China will be the number one or China first, because we believe that the win-win opening philosophy is the way to follow, and we would like to build the future with the rest of the world. China will continue to have an inclusive development because we think diversity in the world is very important. We respect the rights of the other countries' people to choose their own path of development. We will not export our models of development, and we will not go into the conflict of each country's ideology. Currently, the whole world is at the crossroads of unprecedented challenges. And today, COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the changes in the world situation. The pandemic continues to take away many more lives every day, and we are facing a very big challenge. There's also the tide of bankruptcy, and more deficits are waiting for us, and they are growing up. Where will this lead our world?
人类再次面临进步还是倒退，团结还是分裂，开放
Humanity has once again faced the choice between move forward or move backward,
人类进步
unity or separation, looking at the modern history of the world. For many times, the forward progress of mankind was disrupted by the separatist forces, and in recent period, there's one force that would like to create another new Berlin Wall and a new
根源
iron
在美国一
screen.
些极端势力处心积虑的要把中国
Some
宣成主要对手，
extremist forces from the US
遏制中国
would like to picture China as a major enemy, and they would like to stop China from further
公
growing
开
up.
胁迫，
And in international arena,
试图
they are
将中美关系
also
拖进冲突对抗的陷阱，
revving
将
up
各国
the
大大
conflict based on ideologies,
将浩
and
大
they are
的
also
世
setting
界
traps,
推向动荡，分裂
and they would like to kidnap the major countries to the conflicts and to the separation.
也不可能长久。
The times are moving forward. Any forces like that cannot be sustainable. At this significant crossroads of humanity, China and European countries should be responsible for the fate of humanity. For China, we have to start from the basic rights and interests of the Chinese people and fight against those separatist views and actions. And we would like to contribute more stabilization forces to this changing world. First of all, we have to safeguard peace and development and fight against the separatist forces. 30 years ago, we just bid goodbye to the Cold War, and Cold War has created such a long period of ups and downs and brought tragedies to many people. According to the history and our past experiences, armed forces and armed races will only spell disasters to mankind. As a responsible big country, the choice of ours is very clear. We are opposite to any kind of conspiracy of new Cold Wars,
追求发展，实
and
现
will never allow any forces to
我们愿与欧洲共同
bring away the potential for growth from Chinese people or any other people in the world. We would like to make our voice heard. We vote for solidarity, for progress, and for peaceful development, and we oppose the conflict and separatism. Second, we have to safeguard multilateralism and oppose
多边秩序面临
bullying and unilateralism. Today, the unilateralism is rising. This is one of the biggest challenges in the world arena. We will never let any forces like that to drag our world back to the past tragedies, and we will not let this to stop us in the road of democratic development. Whatever it happens, China will continue to stay on the right side of the history with multilateralism and continue to pursue a correct global ideology for governing.
多边体系的有效性和权威性。
China would like to work together with European countries to protect the effectiveness and authority of the multilateralism and also protect a good international order. And third, we will continue to expand international collaboration and oppose firmly the decoupling.
全球产业链
Internationalization is moving forward despite the zigs and zags.
脱离客观世界，
Some countries are proposing the decoupling, and they are showcasing the withdrawals. Those actions are not in the interest of the world people,
就是
because
国力的大市场。
today the whole world has become a single entity.
我们应该坚守自由贸易。
Those who are decoupling with China are actually decoupling themselves from the rest of the world and the world economic growth. Together, we have to protect the stability of the world supply chain and also contribute to the prosperity in the post-COVID-19 era. And fourth, we have to face the international challenges together and stop the beggar thy neighbor method. We are facing unprecedented risks,
恐怖主义、
climate change,
非传统安全挑战。
cybersecurity, terrorism, and trans-border crimes are bringing new challenges and threatening elements to our world. In the future,
成为推动全球
more challenges like COVID-19 could be a possibility. China-EU collaboration could be a very good example for the international governance, and we will together contribute to the effort of the UN, and we will not put our own interests first.
45年来
Dear friends, this year marks the 45th anniversary of the relations between China and EU. Over the
合作远大于
past 45 years, we could tell that our collaboration and consensus far outweigh the differences and disputes.
应该继续是
We have some differences. This is true, but we are not competitors nor enemies to each other. Over the past 45 years,
可以通过
a very good lesson drawn from the history
互利合作
is that we could have more equitable dialogues to strengthen mutual confidence, and through collaboration, we could have a win-win result. And through constructive communication, we could settle the disagreements, and with hand-in-hand efforts, we could face the world challenges together. As is mentioned by President Xi, China and EU are two major markets, economies, and civilizations. What we are for and what we are against could show a good example to the rest of the world. China always appreciates the status and the position of EU in
疫后复苏
the settlement of international affairs.
进一步加强了
In the critical moment of this post-COVID-19 era and world economy, we have to strengthen cooperation and also press the button to restart our collaboration and communication so that we could inject new driving forces in the world collaboration and exchanges. We'd like to build our relations from four aspects. First of all, the relationship based on the fight against the COVID-19.
中国应加强
There's nothing more important than controlling COVID-19 pandemic and saving lives. For the development of vaccines and therapeutics, we'd like to work further with WHO and EU partners, as well as other international organizations. China will play a very active role, and we appreciate the programs
和促进货物
started by the EU, and we would like to use a fast track for the flow of experts and flow of communication. Second is to strengthen the investment partnership to have the win-win results.
不要去谈判
Together, we have to move
找到解决方案
together
今年内要达成一项全面
and try to find solutions to the
在此基础上
difficult issues. Within this year, we have to achieve a high-level investment agreement, and on the basis of that, we could start the studies for the feasibility of a
尽早达成
trading
合作
free trade area,
为双方的全方位对话合作
and we could also start to map up the 2025
三是打造绿色和数字伙伴关系
investment collaboration. And third is to set up a
我们双方
green
在绿色数字领域
partnership to find new growth engines. For growth, development, and digital area, we have strong potential for collaboration and wide areas for work together. For renewables and digital finance, clean energies, we could become green partners together. And also for telecommunications, AI, e-commerce, big data, cloud computing, we could also communicate and collaborate more to become digital partners. And together we could contribute to the elaboration of world standards for the digital economy in the future. And fourth is to strengthen the multilateral partnerships. That means collaboration in the international affairs. We have become very good examples for world international collaboration in climate change, and we have to continue to work more together to address the issues like the sustainable development, climate change, and biodiversity, and face the world challenges together. And we also have to address the hotspot issues together and collaborate also with African countries in a tripartite framework and make greater contribution to the world. Dear friends, safeguarding peace and development in the whole world has become a historical responsibility for China and European countries. We are ready to and willing to work together with your side to realize a more sustainable development of our relations, to reach a new height and injecting more stability to the world order, and so that together we could create a better future for mankind.